Well, good morning, you beautiful people. Here we are in the winter wonderland. I wanted to get out while the frost was still biting. I know, weird, right? But listen, I wanted to share with you something that's been on my mind and something that I thought would be useful. I'm starting to do a series of webinars which is talking about longevity, and part of it is talking about the 5 pillars of longevity, and that includes nutrition, movement, mindfulness, sleep and connectivity. So I wanted to connect with you guys and take you on a micro longevity walk. So here we are out in the frosty winter wonderland, and I thought I'd take you on this little walk so we could get connected. And it got me thinking about these buzzwords that are getting used at the moment, whether it be wellness, mindfulness, longevity, and how they kind of connect. They're all connected, right? And so I thought, why not go out for a little walk? And it's such a beautiful morning. I just love this time of year because it gives us an opportunity to see different seasons. And the seasons are something that I think, as we go on in life, we begin to perhaps appreciate a little bit more. And one of the things that I love about this season is the chill, actually. Now, many of you who like the warmer climates and the summer season, that's great. I love it too. But I think sometimes we want to have that kind of counterpart, that yin and that yang, the lightness, the darkness. Without the light, we can't see in the dark, right? So one of the things I wanted to do was to share some of those thoughts. I've been writing this book last year on the pathways to lasting health, the 5 pillars to longevity, which is going to come out later on this year, and you're going to get to read that hopefully. But just to share this little walk with you, the beauty of nature, the elements, getting out and into it, right? And look at this sunrise. Ooh. And that backdrop, that beautiful pathways to lasting wellness and longevity. Sun is just coming up, and you can see it reflected on all the branches, those silver birches on the side. We've got hazel, we've got silver birch. We look around, we've got oak in the background. And then we've got the stillness. So on this walk, what I was going to do, I'm going to share this on this new YouTube channel that I've just set up, talking about longevity and the journey, because it's not necessarily the destination that I'm interested in, it's what happens along the way, right? So when we come along the way and we begin to listen or observe, what do we see? The sky, the trees, and the elements, right? The frost on the ground. So with that mindfulness, which is the being in the present moment, what are we observing? So I like to take this route, which takes me on different pathways. Do I go across the bridge? Or do I take the broad path? Or do I take the narrow path? Well, what do you think? I'm going to take this narrow path today, only because I get to see from a different perspective. And with that perspective comes a different view. Sometimes we get stuck, right? I don't know about you. How do we unstick ourselves? Perspective. Ooh, maybe we want to look up into the heavens. Maybe you want to look down to earth. Maybe you want to just take a little look around. But with that comes that 360 perspective. So we get to see what's behind us, to the side of us, and in front of us. Now I'm going to have to pay a bit of attention here because it's a little bit uneven on this narrow path. As you can see, they've been through and they've chopped things back a little bit. It's important to do a little bit of pruning, isn't it? Bit of pruning. You can see they've taken these branches off. Things were getting a little bit overgrown down here. Sometimes that can be the same in our own lives, can't it? Sometimes we want to chop some things back, get rid of a little bit of clutter to get some clarity. So that's what I'm noticing on this little pathway. The fact that they've taken things back a little bit. They've begun to prune some things. Now, what that means is new growth. Wow. We take things back. It gives space around us for new growth. And isn't that the case with longevity and rejuvenation? So some of the things that I'm going to be exploring in this journey over the next few weeks is that process of rejuvenation, because it can come from within. We have the capacity to bring about rejuvenation, but we want to have the right conditions. How do we create the right conditions? Perspective. What is it that we're really looking for? What are the outcomes that are going to benefit our wellness, our well-being? And one of those things is, guess what? What we're doing right now. It's called movement, right? So here we are, moving through this narrow pathway, which has been cleared to give us space to move. And so the elements are an interesting topic, aren't they? Now, if you'd like to hear more about the elements and aspects of maybe ikigai, sirtuins, those sorts of longevity terms, subscribe to the channel, because I want to create a bit of community and I want to have some discussions with people, and I think that's where we begin to learn together. Now I've come through that narrow pathway and I'm out in this. Ooh, look at that. Not a vast expanse, but an open plain. Things are getting a bit cold now. Ooh, lovely. It tells me I'm alive, right? And so that feedback that I'm getting is really useful. It tells me, A, that I'm alive, but B, that something different is happening. Now I might go back and have a nice warm bath afterwards, I don't know. The water element, the wood element. What about fire? I'm feeling a nice hot broth coming on for later. So that hot broth, I actually prepared it last night, funnily enough, and it was a potato and leek soup. I sauteed all those onions, got the leeks in there, some potato, some herbs. Ooh, yeah. So if you're interested in recipes, if you're interested in nutrition and that aspect of longevity, dial into the space. I'm going to be doing a number of sessions throughout January 2025 to start this new year, to engage with people, to share the journey and see what pops up. If you want to continue that, I might continue it. Just depends, doesn't it? And so I do love the elements. I don't know if you can see that sky. Ooh. Sometimes you don't have to say anything, do you? And that's mindfulness for you. So this is a short little excerpt here on this little journey. We've been going for about 11 minutes now. Still enjoying the journey, not the destination. But we're building on one of those key pillars of longevity, which is movement. It doesn't mean to say I've got to go out and tank it, do my HIIT session in the gym, I might do, or get on the bike or get in the pool or whatever it might be. I love to do those sorts of things, but I also like to occupy that mindful space where I can just breathe. That's movement, right? It's movement of the breath. So I think we're going to be dialing into a little bit of breath work in this space as well. I think that would be really beneficial. So when we talk about movement, a lot of times we think about, we've got to be out walking, which we are. However, what about the diaphragm? That moves too, right? So we get to stimulate all those core stabilizer muscles. So that's an important aspect of activity, and maybe it's just a gentle form of activity. It might be your yoga practice, it might be your Tai Chi practice, it might be simply breathing. So, there we have this first excerpt of this little journey that I'm going on, and I'd like you to come with me. So, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, that's brilliant. And if you just want to watch this little journey with me, that's cool too, right? And it is cool this morning. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Just sweeping around. I think I'm going to go through the narrow door there. Something that says broad and wide is the road that leads to what? Destruction. Narrow is the road that leads to was it eternal life? I don't know. I'm not going to get too spiritual for you just yet. We might connect with that mind, body, spirit aspect of things as we go on our journey. It depends where you are. But for now, we're going to go through the narrow pathway, which is behind me. Still moving. And still connecting. So, I'd love to know what your thoughts are in this space. And I'm just looking down here, frost and ice. Bit slippery. So we've got to go around that space. But we're going forward. Morning. Got some dog walkers out here as well. They're getting they know what it's all about. I haven't got a dog, but I've been thinking about it. Man's best friend, they say. Great therapy, great companionship, great connection, one of those 5 pillars of longevity. So who's your companion? Have you got one? Maybe it's a little bird in your garden, I don't know. Or maybe you've got a 4-legged friend or 2-legged friend. And so that's cool too. Now we're into more of the forest, as you can see. I do love the forest, you know. Ooh. Grounding. Are we going to be talking about grounding in this longevity space? I think so. You can see my breath here. Well, you might do on the camera or on this video. So it's pretty cold. I don't know, about -3, something like that. But we can still connect with nature. Longevity. How long have these trees been here? Probably longer than us. And they're doing all right. But right now, they're kind of in a semi-dormant state. You can see all the leaves on the ground. So they're in a state of dormancy. We know that spring is coming. It's not yet. And so we have to prepare. So in this winter season, wintering is what we're doing. But part of that is delving into some of those pillars. The mindfulness, the nutrition, the sleep, particularly this time of year, right? Like, I didn't get up too early. Sleep, big one, isn't it? That's when we do all that, that detoxification, that cleansing, that rejuvenation. All of that happens when we sleep, right? And then we've got the movement. That's what we're doing right now. And then we've got the connection. That's what we're doing right now. So we're really getting all those pillars of longevity into view. So I wanted to share that with you. Pushing it out on my channel. I only just started the channel, so I'd like to see it grow organically. And take you with me on the journey. So if you're up for that, great. We're going to go on some journeys and some ventures throughout 2025, I think. And I want to thank you for joining me. And we're going to close it up there while I complete this beautiful wintry walk. Captivating part of one of those key pillars, well, a few actually, but the key one being movement, one of those pillars of longevity. So thank you so much for joining me, and let's see where that journey takes us next time. Thank you so much for watching.